Welcome to Westeros.org's little video series. This one's actually touching on Dance with Dragons, and this is a topic suggested by Sean T. Collins from Boiled Liver last year, pretty much almost exactly a year at this point. We obviously got very busy. We had a video on various little mysteries, and one mystery that we didn't really touch on because, I mean, it's not really a mystery. It's not intended as a mystery, I suppose. It's more of just a little bit of a for real, creating drama. But the question of where Rickon went and why did he end up there, and where is Davos going, and all the clues are there. You just have to remember a little, references in A Feast for Crows. This is one of those examples where you can see that the splitting of Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons maybe make some things more mysterious than they were intended to be originally. So what we have is the story from Wex that Manderley and Glover delivered to Davos is that Wex followed Osha and Rickon, and he knows where they went when they split up from Bran and the Reeds. The idea was they were going in different directions to separate the heirs out and greater safety that way. And it seems where Osha goes to is basically Skagos. Skagos is this island in the Shivering Sea. It's in the northeast of just out off the Bay of Seals. It's in the northeast, sort of east of Eastwatch by the Sea. Samwell's ship passes it, and he thinks about it. Skagos, and there's a smaller island called Skane, but Skane is apparently depopulated because the story goes to some centuries in the past, the Skags, that's sort of somewhat the meaning name for the Skagosans, who prefer to call themselves the Stoneborn. A war party attacked the island and basically killed everyone there and had a feast for a month or a fortnight or whatever, because they're cannibals. Or at least that's what's said. They probably are. They probably do practice some cannibalism. The Skagosans are descendants of the First Men. Clearly, they have taken a very harsh approach to it. I kind of wonder if it's possible that they don't necessarily follow the old gods, if they follow the original First Men gods. If you remember, when the First Men came, they had their own deities, but they eventually adopted the old gods, the religion of the Children of the Forest. I think this may be reflected in certain little stories that we have. The story of Durin Godsgrief and the Raising of Storm's End, where he was supposed to have married Elenai, the daughter of the gods of the wind and the sea. We have the Ironborn, who were themselves originally First Men, and their own drowned god, I think, is a whole, and who wars with the storm god, again, the gods of wind and sea. Those are probably original deities of the First Men. And I just realized when I was speaking about it, Ironborn and Stoneborn seems to have a little impossible connection there. So, in any case, why does she go there? The Skagosans have a very dark reputation. They are nominally vassals to the Starks, but very nominally. They mostly keep to themselves. We know that in the time of Dunk and Egg, about not quite 100, more like 90 years in the past, there had been a rebellion in which the Skags, led to the death of a Stark lord. And so why go there? I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery. My only thought is perhaps she has relations there. I mean, we know there must have been traffic between. There are wildlings that have boats. The Umbers complain about wildlings ending up on their shores, so maybe there's some trade, some contact between the Skagosans and the wildlings beyond the wall. Maybe she's related to them. Maybe she knows something we don't know. How do the Skags then fit into the story? That's all for speculation. I keep thinking of a deity George created way back in his Thousand Worlds science fiction setting. He has this group called the Steel Angels, and they're this extremely ascetic zealots who kind of warrior monks, and then they kind of they wipe out anyone who doesn't believe anything the same thing as they do. Very harsh, and they worship a god. Their religion is based on the Bacalon, the pale child. I believe the pale child with a sword. George actually has a reference to Bacalon in A Feast for Crows. It's one of the deities in the House of Black and White, the pale child. So could Rickon be worshipped as a god, as some sort of wolf deity or something by the Skagosans? Is that why she went there? Maybe we don't have wargs. Maybe that's not something that they have, and that's something that will amaze them, or the dire wolf. It's all a bit of a mystery, but that's where he is anyways. He's on Skagos. That's where Davos is going. Presumably we'll see him in the next book, and finding Rickon and sorting out what the Skagosans are going to be doing. They have their own lords. They have House Magnar, which, as we learn in the Storm of Swords, Magnar is a First Man word. It means lord. So basically, it's a lordly house. We're called lords. There's several other houses that George has actually created there. But I'm gonna guess they are probably more akin to the clans. The northern clans are more of informal lordships and leaders. I think, and maybe we'll finally see the unicorns. I know there are those who hope, such as Linda do, that these are very traditional unicorns, horses with horns. You're laughing over there. I think probably not. I suspect the unicorns are probably something a little bit more mundane, like oversized rams or goats that big enough for people to ride, that have, you know, a single horn. I think historically there may have been some sort of giant elk that was one antlered, that had sort of one horn, kind of. Maybe that, since we've got Cold Hands riding a giant elk. I don't know, but it'll be interesting. Just as a little bit of trivia to discover what exactly those unicorns really are. The other thought I had, of course, is that they don't really ride anything unusual. They have little shaggy ponies that, and they have narwhals that they hunt, whales, and they have the horns. And so every time you have a unicorn horn, it came from Skagos and trade. But anyway, that's where Rickon is. He's on the island of Skagos, and why he ended up there and how he's going to come back, and that's all a mystery. But hopefully, the Winds of Winter will be explaining some of that.